Hey tankers, and welcome back to World of Tanks with PR154, where we are following Soldat Udachi of the Fortes Fortuna Yuat clan in the Tier VIII British medium tank Centurion 1. Now, there's a bit of a mouthful, that clan name, but it comes out of Latin. It's adopted by a lot of different military organisations, but essentially translates from Latin as Fortune Favours the Brave. This is a fantastic Tier VIII tech tree tank. It's quite unique amongst the tech tree in that you have a fantastic turret, you have this fantastic hull-down fighting ability, you're not sacrificing too much on the mobility side of the ledger, and while its gun handling leaves a little bit to be desired, you still have quite a precise 20-pound gun to look forward to, which hits for 230 hit points, penetrating for 226mm with the standard stuff, and you can change that up to 258mm with the APCR. So potential to put a lot of holes in a lot of different vehicles at tier, with the added benefit of being able to put those shells within a radius of 0.32 meters per 100 meters without the effect of additional crew skills or equipment. Now, while you might not know it at the time, Soldat Udachi has a job to do here today, specifically MT-14 for the T-55A personal campaign. Now, that's going to be quite an achievement here at Tier 8. He needs to destroy 5 enemy vehicles. Okay, well, I mean, vehicles can be killed at any tier. The honours condition, he also has to accrue 3,000 hit points of damage. So, a little bit of an ask at this tier, but we'll see how we go. And, well, I think you know how it's going to turn out because, well, our videos do what they say on the tin. So he started out with this deployment, trying to counter the 2 heavy tanks that are deployed on the Banana Road. Now, you'll notice he's looking for sight lines through the rubble, and he actually manages to find one on the TNH-105, shot straight through a little rat hole here into the cupola. Looking for another opportunity here. As it turns out, that solid object is a solid object, so not a viable passage there. Trying to replicate the success of that first shot. This might be poking out a little bit too far, but still another shot on the cupola. Now it looks like the Lerva that's backing them up along the Banana Road is also managing to get some shots in on 50 TP, and here we go. We've found an ideal rat hole here. This TNH 1000 has got no answer for it. They're just slamming shells against the rubble, whereas the proximity of Soldat Udachi to these rat holes is enabling him to just punch these shots through. Now, although for tier, the alpha damage put out by this gun is not great. There's only 230 hit points that it puts out, whereas you might normally expect 240 for a 90mm-ish gun. That sustained rate of fire has certainly been absolutely withering for that TNH 105-1000. It just has not been able to keep up. Again, the mobility of Centurion put to fantastic use here with Soldat Udachi rounding on 50 TP, and he's getting those shots consistently through the lower funnel plate of the Polish premium heavy tank. But with 152mm surprise in play, that doesn't leave too much left on the Polish heavy tank, and Soldat Udachi is able to knock it out for a 58 hit point kill, and his second of the game, also having knocked out the TNH TVP 105-1000. Turning to the top of the hill, the friendly team seems to be slightly outnumbered here in quite a target-rich environment, particularly with our friendly SU-130PM going down to the Type 58. So that's where the targets are, and probably best opportunity for Soldat Udachi to take this mission. Now on the way, he just happens to pick up this Lorraine 155-50, so let's just knock that out while we're going, and there's kill number 3. In the meantime, Soldat Udachi's platoon mate, Country Slicker, has decided they were going to take a different path. They too had decided to charge across the field, but they've had a tap on the shoulder by the enemy SU-130PM, so they will move in to try to counter that one. Of course, they have 2 shots available to them. They can do a serious amount of damage to this premium Tier 8 Russian tank destroyer, and they come around the corner with both ram and gun having the desired effect on target, but the SU-130PM had backup, with HWK-12 adding its damage per minute to the pool that will ultimately see Country Slicker sent back to the garage. Country Slicker's charge, however, has revealed the enemy's hand on this particular flank, and so there's a number of enemy vehicles that are starting to move in, including Progetto 46, which has put a 2-banger into M40, M43. This denial of enemy indirect fires is probably going to relieve a bit of pressure on Soldat Udachi's team that's contesting the hill. They are slightly outnumbered on this flank. The enemy don't appear to know it, though. They haven't chosen to press that numerical advantage. That's going to be a real shame for them, because now Soldat Udachi is on scene and in their flank, having come around behind, and look at all these juicy targets. Now, Soldat is probably aware of the proximity of the mission completion at this point in time, so he goes for the lower hit point tank that he can see, the IS-22, 2. Switches gears though to IS-3, which has only have 7 points, and sends that back to the garage. IS-22 he now has the full attention of, but zeroing in on that lower frontal plate. Unfortunately, a swing and a miss denied kill number 5 and the mission completion from that one, but managed to pick that up on the Indian Panzer for kill number 5. Now we're just slightly short of our honours goal of 3,000 hit points, but there's still plenty of takers for that. And it looks to be the Lerva that Soldat Udachi is zeroing in on. Aiming, and a shot through the side of the turret brings the honours completion of 3,000 hit points to a conclusion. Now, this isn't one of those missions where you need to have a win or survival condition, but look, we're still going to keep playing to the best of our ability on principle, and that is kill number 6, knocking out the Object 703 to 122. And we've also seen a rather poetic finish here by Ambat, who was one of the very early defenders on the hill, probably key to that effective defence off that hill that prevented superior enemy numbers from pushing over. That just leaves the last pocket of enemy resistance in the cap area, with Progetto 46 knocking out the HWK that had sent Country Slicker back to the garage earlier in the game. We now have T-92 rounding on the enemy Lorraine 40T. This is the last enemy vehicle left alive, joined by P-44 Pantera and Progetto 46. This is a coalition of tanks that brings the final enemy low for a final score of 15-5. Let's go and take a look at those results. So in addition to finishing MT-14 for T-55A with honours, Soldat Udachi has come away with the Ace Mastery Badge for Centurion Mk.I, also picking up a Top Gun medal for accounting for 6 kills. Now remember, he only needed 5 for the missions, but hey, what's wrong with a little bit of extra redundancy? In the course of doing that, he was chasing a damage goal of 3,000 hit points. He's managed another 2 shots over the top of that at just over 3,400 hit points of damage inflicted, also picking up the Bruiser medal for causing damage to enemy vehicle modules or crew members at least 5 times in the course of the battle, and the Fire for Effect medal, which is actually a little bit interesting that he didn't come away with a high caliber medal for this order of damage, but I guess there would have been some serious damage contributors on the team. So let's have a look at those team scores. So while his experience points position has come in about 50% higher than the rest of the team, there are still some decent damage hauls taken by some of his teammates. Ambat in particular coming away with nearly 2,800 hit points. It's a consistent damage dealer, but not securing the kill of their own until right at the very end there. And SU-130PM also picking up over 1,600 hit points of damage, although we didn't see too much of it in that particular fight. Special mention on the enemy team to Derek GDNZ in the Lorraine 40T with over 2,000 hit points of damage inflicted, and the enemy 50TP prototype that we saw on the Banana Road, accounting for 1,800 hit points against Soldat Udachi's team. Having a look to the detailed report, this is quite a profitable game for Tier 8, given that there was minimal expenditure there on the consumables, minimum expenditure there on the ammunition. We've got to remember it was actually running an all standard loadout, not choosing to take advantage of that 250mm of APCR pen, which I guess makes the achievement all the more special. So very well done there to Soldat Udachi of the FFJ clan. And if you've got a replay that you'd like to see featured in the World of Tanks with PR154, well, we are taking your replays and showing them on our Twitch channel on a Saturday afternoon. So best way to get shown is to swing by my Discord. There's a little sub channel within there called the Submission Platform, and just drop your replay there, any image files and pertinent details about the fight. Now it looks like it's broken. It's not. It's actually just a write-only channel, but I can see everything that goes into it. I'll make a decision on a Saturday morning as to what we're going to show, and then off we go. And if you're available, we would love to get you in to actually have a chat about what was going through your mind and down your barrel as we review that fight. In fact, you might have seen the product of a couple of those interviews going up on the YouTube channel recently. So do shout out if you'd like to get involved with that. In the meantime, happy tanking and take care out there.